Imagine spending your entire life building a spiritual framework only to have it completely shattered and rebuilt. That's exactly what happened to a man from Roswell, New Mexico, and his story challenges everything we think we know about faith and transformation.
The way this story begins is quite dramatic, born with spina bifida in 1981, receiving last rites as a newborn. It really sets up the theme of survival that runs through his whole journey.
You know what's fascinating? He goes from this deeply traditional Catholic upbringing, we're talking Baltimore Catechism, altar serving, the whole 9 yards, to completely walking away from it all. He actually uses this ancient term Lapsi to describe himself.
That's such a specific word choice. What exactly drove him to that breaking point?
Well, he describes this overwhelming sense of what he calls bitter triviality in his life, combined with this crushing pride that left him feeling completely unworthy. But then, and this is where it gets really interesting, everything changes in 2013 at this shrine in Wisconsin.
The timing of that transformation is remarkable, right before a period of global upheaval. He even develops what he calls the COVID-19 repentance cycle.
That's right, and he creates this fascinating framework he calls the trifecta approach to holiness. But what really strikes me is how he turns these abstract spiritual concepts into practical daily actions.
The way he describes transforming mundane tasks like cooking and cleaning into spiritual practices reminds me of mindfulness traditions from various cultures.
And here's what's really compelling. He's brutally honest about feeling like an outsider in church communities that center around families and couples. But instead of letting that defeat him, he eventually reframes his single status as a unique calling.
That's such a powerful shift in perspective from seeing something as a deficit to viewing it as a different kind of purpose.
You know what really stands out in his journals? The way he documents his spiritual growth like a scientist running experiments. He's meticulously tracking his attempts to replace negative patterns with positive ones.
That methodical approach to spiritual development is quite unique. It's like he's creating a personal laboratory for the soul.
And then there's this incredible moment where he describes having a vision of an ethereal throne, but instead of using it to elevate himself, he interprets it as a call to greater humility and service. That's such a telling response.
The psychological sophistication in how he processes these experiences really shows his growth, doesn't it?
Exactly. And what makes this story so universal is how it speaks to anyone who's ever tried to change deeply ingrained patterns in their life. It's not just about religious conversion, it's about the human struggle to transform and grow.
Well, that's what makes it so relevant to modern audiences. He's dealing with these very contemporary issues of identity and purpose, just viewing them through this unique spiritual lens.
And in the end, that's what makes this story so powerful. It's about falling down, getting back up, and the courage to keep examining yourself even when it's painful. It's about finding meaning in the struggle itself.